Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Adam Flynn here, Danelle Hunter, Flynn in Hollywood, for this week's edition of On the Couch. If I'm wet, I've just walked in and it's raining. Marcel, who's filming, said, "Is there a dryer here?" But there isn't a dryer, so that's why I've got raindrops on me. But that aside, so this week's edition of On the Couch, we're talking about a couple of things. I'm going to be talking about statement of informations from a sales point of view. So when you are advertising a property for sale, what a statement of information is and why that was introduced. And Hollywood is going to be talking about, from the property management side of things, smoke alarms and the importance of smoke alarms and the reasoning behind it and regulations and so forth. So in regards to the SOI, Statement of Information, essentially going back some time ago, a lot of estate agencies were getting in trouble for underquoting. So they were quoting a price and then properties were selling for significantly higher than what they were first quoted at. So there was a lot of consumer complaints. And long story cut short, what now Consumer Affairs they require is that with any property that is placed on the market, there is what's called a statement of information. Now, the statement of information, essentially, you have to provide comparable sales of properties that have sold within essentially a 500 metre to 1 kilometre circular radius of that property in recent times. So similar size block of land, bathrooms, bedrooms, and so forth, to justify to the consumers, to the buying public, why you are putting a particular price on a property, and to give essentially market evidence to justify and prove that the marketing price that you have on there is consistent with what the market is saying. Now, that's not to say that the property cannot sell for in excess of the statement of information price, because under the strength of competition, where property prices can end up, who knows? But we need to provide evidence to justify the actual marketing price that we are putting on a property, so that the buyers can do their own homework and they can make an educated decision based on factual information, as opposed to some scenarios whereby buyers were spending money prior to auction, especially on building inspections and pest inspections, with the thought process that they were going to be in with a shot come auction day, and property was selling for, in some hectic scenarios, like $200,000 or $300,000 more than the indicated price by the agent. So that's essentially what a statement of information is. That's the reasoning behind it. And every single property that is listed for sale now has to legally, based on Consumer Affairs law, has to provide a statement of information attached to the property.
Very good. Well, in regards to smoke alarms, if you're a tenant, first of all, daylight savings has just happened last weekend or the weekend before.
Yeah.
So check your batteries and change them, because that is your responsibility if you are renting a property. In regards to our landlords, we do recommend that you get a yearly service on the smoke alarms. For $99, we can organise it for you, and they'll make sure your property is compliant. So if you've only got one smoke alarm and you should have 2 or 3, they'll install enough to make sure the property is compliant, check they're all working, and provide you a certificate of compliance. That way, if anything does happen and the house burns down or something goes wrong, your insurance will cover you, because you've got proof that you have been checking on a regular basis. Smoke alarms obviously is very important, so from a tenant and a landlord point of view, you both need to make sure that you're checking and making sure they're in working order. And
on that $99, they can then claim that back as a tax write-off anyway.
Yeah, so you can claim it back, and it covers everything. So if your property has no smoke alarms and they need to put 4 smoke alarms in, it's only going to cost you $99.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's capped at that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought
they
it was...
do everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's actually cheaper than if you were to go do it yourself and get an electrician out or buy the parts generally. Like, they do it all for you.
And is there, is there an annual, they go and maintain it to make sure it's all legit?
Yep, so every year it's $99 and they'll go out automatically and check them, because there's actually expiry dates on smoke alarms, which a lot of people don't know about. So I didn't know about it years ago either. But basically, if you pull it off the ceiling, on the back there's an expiry date. So a lot of smoke alarms are actually, they might be working, but they're out of expiry. So if the house did burn down, your insurance company could find out what the expiry date was, if it was intact, and turn around and say, we're not covering you because it was expired. Even if you're checking it and it's working and the batteries are replaced and everything's fine. So they'll check all of that as well.
So the smoke alarms they put in, they're battery operated, they're not hardwired?
It depends.
Depends on the property.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right, no dramas. Well, there you go. So if you are watching statement of information, why that's so important now, smoke alarms, why that's so important, and possibly, even if you don't rent a property through us, and your property doesn't have smoke alarms, it wouldn't be a bad idea to inform their agent to get some organised, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially got little, there's children in the household and so forth. You'd rather be safe than sorry. But that aside, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Cheers.